Good afternoon, John Colgrove here of Cornerstone Financial Team. We're going to be doing something new here in 2025, something that's really exciting we're going to enjoy around here as well. And that is we're going to be doing podcasts and video and streaming this in your favorite media. It may very well be in Spotify, it might be iTunes or Google Play Store. Or if you like watching it on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere you like to look at your media, we're going to have this there. So today's topic is going to be specifically on the Social Security Fairness Act, and also, which is great news, by the way, especially for our 25,000 strong force of Gwinnett County Public School educators and staff. We have the 11th largest school system in the state of Georgia, in the nation, #1 in the state of Georgia. And so that's one place we do, but this is also going to affect firefighters, federal workers, things of that nature as well. So let's begin and get started on this. So first thing is that the Social Security Fairness Act is something we can really celebrate. It's the elimination of some penalties that really never made sense. The penalties were called the Windfall Elimination Provision, or WEP, and the Government Pension Offset, GPO. And these were essentially penalties on the Social Security checks of certain workers. Now, those workers were people that had years of service where they were contributing maybe to a pension plan, Gwinnett County Public School pension plan, which is the teachers' retirement system in Georgia and the Gwinnett retirement system, for example, but they weren't contributing to Social Security. So again, using Gwinnett County as an example, Gwinnett County Public School educators do not contribute to Social Security. But it's more likely that before they became Gwinnett County employees, or perhaps after, later, that they did at some point contribute to Social Security and would have otherwise been entitled to some kind of Social Security check in their retirement. The windfall elimination provision mostly eliminated their Social Security check during working years. And that was a tough one, but the pill that was really hard to swallow was the government pension offset. In the government pension offset, and I'll use a short example instead of a long one, it essentially treated a Gwinnett County public school teacher worse than someone who was a stay-at-home husband or wife and never had any working career for earnings. Okay, so I just want you to hear that again. So it literally treated a teacher worse than it did someone who was never earning any income in their working years. Nothing wrong with staying home and taking care of the family. It's a very important job. It doesn't pay, and it also doesn't pay into Social Security. So the elimination of those two penalties is something I've wanted to see for a very long time. And the Social Security Fairness Act, which was signed by Congress, or signed by law by Joe Biden on January 5th, is something we should celebrate because it eliminated those penalties. For those in opinion media who have stated that they believe that this is something that shouldn't have happened, I would push back hard on that. I've been a financial planner since 2001. I've been seeing firsthand the unfairness of these penalties on especially our Gwinnett County educators, but also firefighters, federal workers, others too. And it's long overdue for these to be eliminated. Understand this. Someone that now is no longer subject to those penalties is getting no kind of windfall. All they're doing is they're now going to get a Social Security check based on what they've contributed. Or when their spouse passes away, now they will receive, if that check is higher, they'll receive their spouse's Social Security. That's the way it works for all of us. And so I'm very happy that that's come into law now. That's the great, great news. We've already been talking to clients about this. It's been in the news a lot, but what I've been waiting for is for the news to come out at the Social Security website, and it's come out. In fact, I just had a client bring it to my attention yesterday. We're finally now starting to see the news. You probably have experienced that the way it works is when Congress passes a law, the law is there, but then the rules have to be written to implement it. Social Security has implemented it now, and it's rolling right on through here this month in March of 2025, and especially in April of next month too. So I'm just going to go through just a couple things of this. So first thing is that based on someone who would have received a check under Social Security without the windfall elimination provision, this is going to begin effective January of 2024, retroactively for January of 2024. And that means everybody that should have gotten money that did not are going to see some kind of lump sum check. We believe you're probably going to have that in hand this month based on what I'm reading from Social Security. That's the first part. Then the next part is, well, what should you be receiving in the way of additional or a monthly check here in 2025? We believe that's going to be satisfied beginning in the month of April if what Social Security is saying is actually going to follow true. And just a couple of things in here. Social Security benefits are paid 1 month behind. So they believe the new monthly benefit check will begin in April. So again, that's next month for the March benefit. Now this is the part that's really important. And I hope that you will consider sharing this with friends, especially anybody that is getting close to Social Security age. This part made me pause a little bit. It's good news from them, but I realize that we now are probably facing one of the biggest scams maybe we've ever seen in the history of the United States here coming up probably within the next couple of weeks. Warn your friends and family. Send this and share this with them, and here it is. So Social Security states in here that they're going to be sending 2 letters. Now I'm going to pause on that. Social Security is sending out through the U.S. postal system 2 letters. If you don't get anything else from this podcast but that, I want you to write that down and share it with friends. Because you realize what's going to come right now then? Can you see it? Do you realize the people in the basements of the places that like to scam everybody right now are figuring it out? And this is what it's going to look like. They're going to send out emails. They're going to send out text messages. They are going to make phone calls. And I could just about write the script. I think it'll sound something like this. Hi, this is Joe Smith calling about your new Social Security benefit. Good news. The president signed into law the elimination of the WEP and GPO penalties through the Social Security Fairness Act. Maybe you heard of it. Maybe you didn't. The great thing is you're entitled to some money, and we are going to send you a link that we need you to click on so that we can go in and get your check to you. Now I'm going to pause on that for a second. Doesn't that just sound like one of those? They're going to have the most smooth talking people on the phone. It's going to be done by email. It's going to be done by text. And of course what they want you to do is they say, so can we send you a text message to this number? And people say, well, yes. All of a sudden you get a text message on your phone. It says, click here. You click here. They say to get your check, please go ahead and enter your bank information. Guarantee you that's coming. If people haven't already started to see it, it's going to come. So again, I'm not trying to throw a blanket over this good news. The good news is that the Fairness Act is a wonderful piece of legislation. I'm very, very pleased that it's here. The bad news is that now, because we are expecting, or people that are receiving a check are expecting a lump sum and then a monthly check, there's going to be a lot of people sending emails, making phone calls, and sending text messages promising that you need to click on their link and give your bank information. I promise you, Social Security is not going to do it that way. Even in this letter, which they just published on February 25th, so just a few days ago, they are saying we are sending you letters. And the way I read this, when I read that in here, the way they said that with a period and a new paragraph, we will be sending you 2 letters. As soon as I read that, I was like, that's their way to say the scammers are coming too. So I just want to remind you guys that if you get any calls on this, any emails on this, any texts, messages on Facebook Instant Message, all the different places you can get it, I promise you it's not legitimate. The Social Security Department, Social Security Administration is sending this by letter to you, okay? The first letter supposedly has already gone out. It's the one that's going to go to everyone that was affected by WEP and GPO. Social Security estimates it's 3.2 million people. By their latest information today, and I just printed this out, and by the way, we'll probably post this on our website too, they are 20% processed on sending out those letters. Okay, now they tell us they're doing that right now. Who knows? I mean, 3.2 million letters does take a while to go through, So that's the first part. The second one is going to be the adjustment to a person's Social Security monthly check. If you were already receiving an adjusted amount, let's say instead of receiving $1,500, you're receiving $200, you're going to get a second letter that's going to tell you what your new amount will be And according to the information we have here from the Social Security Administration, not from some third-party source, okay? This came directly from them. You can go to Social Security Administration, look this up yourself, by the way. In April, you will see the March payment. Okay, so here we are right now in March of 2025. According to this, if they do the timing according to what they've published, you will start seeing the new checks literally by next month. So we're anticipating you to get a lump sum payment sometime this month, and then of course going into April, the new monthly check. This is something really to watch. If you know of a retired educator, a retired firefighter, someone who is in civil service in the federal government, many places like that, this will be affecting them. So watch for your letters. Do not click on the messages on the text messages. Make sure to throw those to junk. If you have a elderly parent, grandparent that this applies to, please take some time with them on this. Please look with them on their devices to see if they're already getting them. I've not seen them yet. I am just anticipating that we are literally about to face one of the bigger scams that we've seen in the United States based on this news. So I've really enjoyed this podcast today. One of the things we're going to focus on is that we're in the retirement business. So we're going to actually bring in clients that are either at the point of retirement right now or maybe already retired. So we're going to talk about some of the topics, some of the things that they're facing. So it's been very enjoyable. I hope you will tune in again with us, and we're looking forward to talking with you soon. God bless.